Harvest of French beans. Not enough to do a canning session, so I'm just going to top and tail these, get them in a bag and get them in the freezer. And when I've got a few bags of them in the freezer, I'll do a canning session with them. So it's just good to be able to harvest bits and pieces, and there's no point in leaving them until I have got enough, because they'll just go past their best. And I find with French beans they don't need blanching or anything. I've grown a mixture this year of the purple ones, which turn green when they're cooked. It's a shame they don't stay purple actually. And the green ones. So they'll just be mixed up together. I do actually prefer the taste of the purple ones. And I no longer bother growing runner beans. I don't like them. Martin likes them. But if he ever wants a few runner beans, I'm sure we know enough people to be able to get a handful off for him if he wants them. I prefer the French beans. So that's today's little bit of preserving. Right, I've been going through the pantry and I have 2, 4, 6, I had 7 jars of this mixed fruit. This was done back in, it would have been autumn 2018. We don't, what I've discovered is, I should have known before, we don't really eat fruit like this. We never ate tinned fruit and we don't eat the canned fruit. So I've decided to repurpose it. Fruit we tend to eat either fresh, or I will use frozen fruit, or I'll use powdered fruit. We don't do fruit pies or anything like that. It tends to be maybe a little bit of fruit with ice cream, that sort of thing. So the canned fruit jars that I've got are just sitting there. The seals are still good. I've tested them all. No popping, seals are good. I've opened one jar, perfectly fine. And this one. Yeah, smells perfectly fine. So I'm tipping them out on my freeze dryer trays. And my plan is I'm going to freeze them down and then they're going in the freeze dryer. And then I am going to powder them up. Then they can get added to yogurts and ice cream, smoothies and that sort of thing. The sort of things that we'll actually use fruit in. And looking through them, I think it's a mixture of raspberries, blackberries, blackcurrants, red currants. I think that's what's in the fruit. So that's what I'm doing with these jars. Then they're going to go into the freeze dryer. I've got some other trays of stuff waiting to go into the freeze dryer as well. So I'm going to crack on with these and finish up filling the rest of the trays. Right, the freeze dryer is loaded. That is 4 trays of the fruit at the bottom. There's 2 trays of some sliced roast buffalo left over from dinner, and the top tray is some gravy left over. So, in, shut the door. Press continue. Yeah. So just leave it to do its thing. So I'm expecting it to be a good 24, maybe 30 hours to get done. Right, this is the gravy or stock, what you want to call it, that went into the freeze dryer. As you can see, it's nice and dry, so I'm going to get that in the food processor now, get it crumbled up and get it put into storage. I've just checked the freeze dryer, it's been 24 hours and the roast meat slices are finished. So let me just show you what they're see, look, just they are totally dry. So I'm going to get these into bags now and get them sealed up before they start to absorb the moisture from the air. Lovely. Yeah. The other trays, which had a lot more liquid in them, are still in the freeze dryer, but I'll show you those when they come out. I have everything on the freeze dryer that's going into Mylar bags. I put in an oxygen absorber, so I cut this little pouch open, pop in an oxygen absorber into each bag. I've got 3 bags of the buffalo meat here, and then I seal up whatever I've got left in my little oxygen absorber bag, just to prevent any oxygen getting in and spoiling those. So then these, they have a grip seal top, and then I heat seal as well. So they have a double seal on the bags. So anything going into Mylar bags, I don't vacuum seal, I just heat seal. If I was to vacuum seal that, I would end up with crumbs. And the other, I don't know whether it's right or not, but the other rule of thumb is anything I put into Mylar bags, I add the oxygen absorber too. Anything I put into jars, I add the moisture silica pouch, and I seal the jars, vacuum seal the jars doing that. If I'm vacuum sealing powders, etc., that have come out of the freeze dryer, then I do again, I add the moisture thing, and they're vacuum sealed into vacuum seal bags, because that would just be short term. The Mylar is long term. The see-through bags, vacuum sealing bags, are shorter term. And the jars, of course, because they're going to be open and closed, they're also classed as short term. So that's how I do it. Whether it's the right way or not, that's what I do. Right, lots of cucumbers coming on. Another couple. Oh, some more hanging up over there. So I'm going to get them harvested today, along with a few more courgettes. I can spot a few courgettes there, and then get something done with them. Right, this is what I've just collected from down the polytunnel. One of the nice long cucumbers. 3 of these ones are mini munch, so they're only supposed to be small, and a couple of big courgettes. One of these cucumbers I'm going to keep by for us to eat. The others are going to get, this one I think is going to get sliced up and freeze dried, and these two are going to be diced up and freeze dried. The courgettes I'm going to get grated, and they're going to be freeze dried as well. Although I may do some spiralised noodles with one of them to freeze dry as well. Right, this cucumber has been diced up really small. This was the big cucumber, and I'm actually going to mix that. I'm thinking, should I mix it with natural yogurt and mint now, then rehydrate it, or should I dehydrate it, I should say, or should I dehydrate it all as separate items? I shall think about that and come back to it while I leave this to drain. Right, this is what I'm going to add. It's a salt and vinegar. It says a popcorn seasoning, but I've used it when I've been doing crisps, etc. And I'm going to season the cucumber slices with that, and so they'll just be a nice healthy low carb, low calorie snack instead of crisps. Right, I've managed to get 4 trays of grated courgette, 1 tray of diced cucumber, and 2 trays of sliced cucumber. I've still got 2 big courgettes there to use. I was going to spiralise them up and freeze dry them, but my trays are full. So these are now going to go into the freezer, and then tomorrow they'll go into the freeze dryer. Today I am canning up some bacon. I pulled all the packs of bacon out of the freezer that we had. All canned up. This is all our home produced bacon from our own pigs. But I need to get the freezer space. That's what I need. We've got another buffalo coming back from the butcher's in a couple of weeks, and then we've got another one going, so I need to create as much space as possible. So if I'm not canning it, then I'm freeze drying it. I've 2 jars left, so I'm hoping I'm using the tall wide mouth jars, and the bacon is being wrapped in a piece of paper or bacon parchment, whatever. I think this is bacon parchment, I think this one's called. I've already done 4 jars of streaky, so now I'm doing the back bacon. I'm just layering it out on the parchment. I've got 3 packs left. And of course, once it's canned, it means it's cooked. So it's just a case of pull out a jar, tip it out, either pop it in the oven or in the pan or whatever, and then it's ready to go. another sheet on top. Fold it in half and then roll it up really tightly, because it is going to shrink when it's cooked anyway. Leave it nice and tight. One more jar to fill, and then that's it. They can go in the canner. I'm going to have to put them in the big canner. Because they're too tall to fit in the electric canner. And I'll get done for 90 minutes. Right, so I'm going to carry on with these and I'll come back to you when they're done. Right, the bacon's all out the canner and it's all cooled down. All of them have sealed. I did mark the tops so I could tell them apart, which ones were streaky and which ones were back bacon. And at the same time, because I had the big canner going, I had some spicy pork mince in the fridge, so I canned that up as well, so there's 3 jars of that. So they're all now ready to be wiped down, rings off and to go in the pantry. Right, just to summarise up everything, that was the sauce to go with the roast buffalo. So there's 3 packs of that, and then there's 3 packs of the freeze-dried roast buffalo, so they're all freeze-dried. That's the courgette, that was all freeze-dried. These ones are not in Myla because these are going to be used in the pantry. They're going to be used to top up the jar that I have in there, and also if I need any more courgette flour I can just grind them up. This is the freeze-dried fruit, the jars of fruit. I haven't powdered it up yet, I didn't have time, so it's all just been backpacked in there, and when I get round to it I'll portion it all up and grind it up into powder. These are the cucumber slices with the salt and vinegar seasoning on. Next time I do them, I won't put the seasoning on until after they're freeze dried, because I found it's just clumped up too much. It's all a learning curve. That's the diced cucumber. I decided not to do it with the yoghurt, but to have it separate. Then I can just use the amount that I want, and which means I can actually freeze dry the natural yoghurt, and that will be available then to use with various things. Of course, the canned bacon, and of course along with the bacon I ended up doing the spicy pork, which we had and it was left over from meals. So that is just to summarise everything that was done. So thank you very much for watching. That brings me up to, I think, day 8 of the Every Bit Counts challenge. I'm a bit late in posting the video because I've had a lot going on, which I'll explain at some point in another video. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe, like and notifications, and if you could leave a comment or thumbs up, it helps with the video logarithms as well. Take care everybody.